Hello everybody, this is Kevin V. Doan. I am the writer-director of Wes and Kyra, and this is the director's commentary on the short. So I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, here we go.
I worry that love is violence. Might confuse instinct for desire.
Now, I guess I don't even remember when I would have read this quote, but I remember reading it in McNally Jackson down in their Soho location before that closed. Maybe about 3 years ago now, in 2021, and I was just obsessed with it. I couldn't stop thinking about this quote. This idea that you were matching in, love and hurt, and it kind of perfectly summed up what I was trying to do with Wes and Kyra. And yeah, this scene in the apartment, the intro apartment, I've always been very interested in tarot cards. And actually, I used to kind of draw tarot cards every day before high school, like in junior year or something. And honestly, it just became too much and I stopped doing it very quickly. But that's kind of where this kind of comes in, where you allow something that's quite spiritual to kind of dictate your everyday life. And we see that here as we start the film with that title card, Wes and Kyra.
Endless nights, countless kisses, and blurred faces we pass by.
These Chinatown shots were very impromptu. We had the truck around the corner. Me and Cece and a couple others popped out and just ran around town and got these shots.
I don't want to hurt anyone anymore.
Now, this neon sign one where they're hugging is my favorite.
Hey, we're okay. We're happy. We can just keep doing what we've been doing.
I think this can help.
Fun fact, this little camcorder that they use all throughout the film is the one that my dad used to film all of my home movies as a kid.
Just us. Do you trust me?
Okay.
Lovely, lovely work in this fish tank scene by Cece Chan, our DP.
Minutes of light per day. When something is so limited, you find yourself being drawn to it. Especially when you know it can hurt you. I needed the light.
That little sliver of light took us, 30 minutes to try to get right. That little bar of light there. We tried all sorts of things, like shorter shafts of light, all that, but we decided that it would be touching her, which is a nice little tidbit that comes into play in the voiceover, which wasn't originally written. We wrote that after the fact, so. Now, everybody always talks about shooting in the subway being a very arduous thing. I don't think so. I think people kind of leave you alone. Or maybe I've gotten very lucky, knock on wood. But on this shoot, it wasn't any different. They just kind of left us to our own devices, and we shot at 1 a.m. and we're left alone.
Remember? Yeah. We just have to hurt a little before the celebration. We have to try.
Now, what's difficult is getting good audio, especially in this tunnel scene.
Do you trust me?
I just do.
Fun fact, I actually shot all of these, some of the VHS moments, especially when they're at the club and in the car. That was a pickup day. Now, this is no prop apartment either. This is my actual apartment in New York, that old 2417. Totally revamped everything. Our amazing production designer, Lauren Vick, who I've known since college, kind of renovated the entire room, put up all these different trinkets around the room, rearranged the room, put up the navy wallpaper. And when I went to sleep at night after everybody had left, it really did feel like I was in somebody else's room, which was very odd. We got so many noise complaints shooting from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. every day that I almost got evicted, actually. But
what would you call it?
yeah, it's a beautiful intro scene into the world, you know.
He made me. Yeah, that's it. No, I don't think I owe him friendship. He's doing us a favor, and I'm grateful. So.
That little line, I wanted to put that in there about his creator because it was always the plan to maybe expand the story one day, to which now we have a future script and trying to adapt it to a one-act play off Broadway. But it was always interesting to me in different vampire movies how the mechanisms of that certain world of vampirism portrayed itself. Like, what did that look like? How much blood did they need every day? And all those little tidbits.
Yeah, I do. Were you happy then? I was trying my best.
I know you were. I think I was.
You okay?
In this scene in particular, in the bathtub conversation, the buzzing wasn't put in there. I mean, we were using actually a hot lamp, and there was a buzzing coming off of it. And it was just me, the audio person, Danny, CC Chan, me, and the two actors, for the sake of, privacy, and yeah, very closed set. And we had them probably run through this scene 5 times or so. And it was grueling. It really was grueling. It's a long scene. There's a lot of dialogue, and it was quite hot in there, in that room. Which I guess kind of lent itself to the emotions in this scene, as it kind of reaches a boil. Never really thought about that before, but yeah.
Just look at how much we're suffering already.
You can't just be on nobody's side. I need you with me.
You know what? And I don't need to drink. I don't fucking need it. I can just drink some prepackaged shit and be totally fine.
I guess a good place to say that this is what I used as a scene for the auditions for the characters. It was a pretty good placement of how it starts out sweet and then it kind of reaches a breaking point. It's very indicative of their relationship throughout the film. And I'd always written the character with Ryan in mind. We'd worked together on a short film earlier called There's No Koi Fish Left. And he came over, we had a nice little dinner, and then he read through that scene and cast him. But yeah, then we got a recommendation. One of my friends told me about this girl, Sydney White. And she sent in her tape, and there was nobody else that felt right except for her.
Hours passed by, sitting with the pain, writhing, thinking it would get easier at some point, but it never did. I saw Wes slowly slip away in little ways that he'd never tell me he was.
This was a really fun scene to film. I think it was the last scene of the 3rd day. That girl's back right there is actually our producer Anna's back. And this scene was just very, very sticky by the end. And what they don't tell you about Fake Blood is that it actually starts to crust over after about 20 minutes. So you start to run out of takes because the actors can't even move their mouths anymore. But yeah, I learned a lot about this. That scene in particular, where Wes bites his own arm, that was kind of based on a lot of addiction movies that I had seen. Specifically, this one starring Heath Ledger called Candy, which is a must-watch. I love how Ryan plays this right here when he wakes up. He kind of like does this, what I do, which is like kind of like hop onto your back when you're on your side. Those little drawings in the back were made by Lauren Vick's sister, who was PAing on our set, that just so happened to be there for the weekend on vacation. So lovely work, Lily. I guess that's actually the most horrific frame in the film, is like Wes in this endless hallway that's like slightly green. It's very horror. I would say it's the most dreadful looking frame in the film, and not bad, but like dreadful. It evokes a lot of like dark emotions there.
All right, let's just go back to the room. Come on, people are gonna see us.
I don't
Let's
want to
just
go back
to the
in.
room. Kyra.
Please. It fucking hurts.
Now, this is something they don't teach you in film school, right? Like, if you're doing a rooftop scene, yeah, maybe not have your actors speak right into the glass, because that's going to affect the audio. But yeah, we ran into some issues during the mix trying to save that. But I think Sid and Ryan, you know, Wes and Kyra, they played this moment so beautifully that it just kind of scram off the page, you know. I wasn't sure exactly how this would go, how it would feel. Would it feel forced that it's placed here? But that's what happens when you work with great actors. They kind of lift the piece for you. I want to give out a shout out to my, editor Mason here, because the multitude of VHS elements were not apparent in the script to that extent. And he really kind of drove it in, and it just works. It really works on this piece.
Right next to you the whole time. We just need to sleep through most of it.
We got on the roof early that day when we were shooting the rooftop scene, and we got all those blue hour shots, which was very serendipitous. It was the exact shade of blue that we needed.
I lived too long to believe that ghosts are real. The only ghosts that exist are up here.
We used to do that. Just wait until the sky would get that dark blue before anyone else was there. We were like ghosts, just wandering.
Everything's gonna be okay. Do you trust me?
You fucking gaslight me all the time.
Yeah, I loved how this scene turned out, actually, because the candles in the scene are real. You don't really think about that stuff, but our production designer Lauren Vick, she put those candles on, actually quite close for comfort to the curtains, actually, but they worked so well for the scene because there's something kind of boiling underneath the surface, and it's moving in the background, and you get that texture. And the escalation here really works. And actually, Sid and Ryan didn't feel like that blocking worked at the time. Him sitting on the table, facing downward to her, and she's looking up at him. But ultimately, when they saw the film, they understood. But I was pretty adamant about that power dynamic, about how he's trying to suppress her, and then she stands up and tries to suppress him, and it's this kind of gray area of a battle that relationships often are.
That's why we can't leave each other. Because I love you too.
This argument scene was somewhat based on a real life argument I had with an ex of mine that kind of reached a boiling point, but yeah, it worked. It worked for the scene here. This is expanded within the feature. The little prayer beads that Wes is building here. and it's his version of like good luck, you know, and that's going to carry over into the longer form story.
I do trust you, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry if I've ever made you feel like you were less than.
The scene is actually sort of based on my parents, you know, growing up. Like after a fight, they'd kind of apologize, and it'd be sort of a whirlwind to witness as a kid.
From all this madness.
Seeing something sort of volatile go to something very calm in the span of, you know, 2 or 3 hours.
Sometimes.
And it really lent itself to this dynamic between Wes and Kyra.
You kind of ruined me. I can't do anything without thinking about you. I wouldn't last a day if you were gone.
Hey.
Fun fact, Wes was actually supposed to survive in the end. We had Kyra pass away, but about 2 days before production, I felt that it was only right that once Wes says that line, you know, I can't last a day without you, that he should be the one to waste away. So we made that decision quite briefly before starting production, but I asked around and the entire crew saw that it was fit, so we went with it.
Me too.
How much more time do we have?
I've been wanting to say this on Q&As, but that movie that's running in the background is called Killers in Paradise. I think I believe it's from 38 or like 42 or something like that, the year. But it's in the public domain. It's about a couple that gets shipwrecked on an island. And that's kind of what Wes and Kyra feels like to me, is like these two people that are blatantly on this island together, trying to escape something. Taking from genres like, you know, genre films like Thelma and Louise, Bonnie and Clyde, things like that. Now this scene was beautifully choreographed by our intimacy coordinator, Natalia Fuentes. Super professional, incredible person. Made everything like clockwork, like a dance. And you can see here it's just so fluid. This made me gain a big appreciation for special effects makeup people, because with every single thing, every bite, the continuity had to be there. So this scene took, I don't know, 3 hours, 4 hours to film. Even though we had all the choreography down, it was just making sure the continuity was there between the bites and the blood. So shout out to my entire crew. There was about 14 of us in my studio apartment, and we filled up the hallways with gear, hence why I almost got evicted. Slow motion shot, that's something I had very early on in the imagery in my mind to have. That little movement there in Wes's fingers, you're supposed to believe that it's like him, but it's actually her just waking up and shifting the bed a little bit. You hear the little heartbeat in the background, you know, that's her hearing her own heart because of being a little bit blood drunk, which I love the idea of. I got that from this wonderful, wonderful supernatural drama series called Being Human that I love. The brilliance between Sid's acting here, Ryan, you know, our composer Austin Geller, Mason's editing, Cece's cinematography, it just all comes together here and culminates in this beautiful whirlwind of emotion. Acute viewers will actually hear Cece's Doc Marten boots squeaking a little bit in the background. I've always loved that shot, the red and the blue just playing off of each other.
I find myself wondering how I'll look at these endless nights. In the blue hours.
Such a gorgeously gnarly look there from Sid. As the sun kind of cascades through, and I saw that view every morning. it would wake me up. The sun would come through the blinds and wake me up, and thought to use that in the film. But yeah, that is Wes and Kyra. Thanks, guys, if you stayed the entire way through to listen to this director's commentary. Stay tuned for all the credits. Definitely look through and see all these talented people that helped me make this dream a reality. It's not oftentimes that what you have in your head is what you see at the end. But this was one of those times that it came out even better. So it was a wonderful experience. We shot this in 2023. It took a year about to finish editing it, and then a year on the festival circuit. And we had screenings at the Angelica, AMC down in the Bowery, and festivals all over the country, Beverly Hills Film Festival, and won Best Short Film at Big Apple Film Festival. So quite a journey, and I'm so grateful for everyone that was involved, and I could not be more happy with this film. So yeah, that was Wes and Kyra, and this is the director's commentary. From me, I'm the writer-director of Wes and Kyra. And yeah, stay tuned for more projects in the future. Thanks so much to Monolithic Pictures for distributing this short. And then my very own company, Have Paris, for putting this together. So thank you all.